So good afternoon to all of you. Before starting the today's lecture, may I request to all the students to be present there, please turn off your mic so that there is no hindrance will occur. So at the end of the class, we will discuss your questionnaire. And if you have any question related to the today's lecture, you can note it down on your separate sheet. So we will discuss it later on at the end of the class. Okay, fine. So now today we will start with the introduction to the power system protection. In last lecture, if you remember, we were discussed about power system, and in that power system, you all know that the power system has three main key pillars. Number one will be the generation part, number two will be the transmission part, and number three will be the distribution part. So in that power system, we are discussed that how the power can be generated with the hydroelectric power station, the thermal power station, the gas power station, or you can say that the nuclear power station. So once the power will generated, it will generate it at a particular voltage level. So it can be transmitted with the help of transmission structure. And in this transmission structure, there are n number of equipments or n number of, you can say that elements to be present. Like we have step up transformers, we have conductors, we have towers, we have insulators and many more. So when the power will generated at any of the generating station, it can be step up with the help of step up transformer. And after that, this high voltage transmission will be done and high voltage power will be transferred from generating station to the grid station. So a grid station can receive a power at a very high voltage level. And once it can receive the power at a high voltage level, there are basically n number of equipments are also installed in the grid station, which are used to step down the voltage level, and further it can be transmitted to the distribution end for the load consumers. So in this case, the whole of the power system can work. So I am again repeating that in power system there are three main key pillars, that is the the generating part, the transmission part, as well as the distribution part. Now, coming to the part of this power system protection, in generating part or in transmission part or in distribution part, as I had already discussed with you people that there are n number of equipments to be present there. So at every instant, we have to protect our system, because in electrical, or you can say that in power system, there are many times there are fault occur. But when the fault occur in the system, you never know the time of the fault occurrence, at what time the fault occurs, what is the magnitude of that fault, and how much time for this fault to be stayed in the system. And if you not isolate our system, or if you not isolate the system, when the fault is occur, what will happen? The whole of the system will collapse. So in order to, you can say that, save the system so that there is no fault occur, what we have to do, we have to isolate the system at the moment when there is fault occur. So you can say that the time of the fault you doesn't know, the magnitude of the fault again you doesn't know, and the duration of the fault that occur in the system you doesn't know. So you have to protect the system, and this protection of system is called as your power system protection. In the coming lectures or in the coming slides, you can see that what are the various equipments that we can use in generating part, in the transmission part, in the distribution part, and what are the various protection devices that we can use in generating, transmission, as well as the distribution. So if I quickly say what is called as the system protection, a system protection is the art and a science of detecting the problem with the power system component and isolating these components. So again, what I try to explain to you people, that protection means the art or a science to detect the fault, that at what time the fault will occur, what is the magnitude of fault will occur, and what is the duration of the fault occur in the system. And when the fault occur in the system is get isolated automatically without any manual component to be there. Whenever there is a fault occur in the system, your system get isolated automatically. Let us take an example. For example, whenever there is some short circuit in your homes, what will happen? You all use circuit breakers, that is called as the miniature circuit breakers, MCB, in your room. So whenever there is a certain high in a voltage, what will happen? Your MCB trips automatically. And when automatically your MCB trips, your system is get isolated from the service line. And after some time, when there is no high voltage or no high current, what do? You just go on and again turn on the MCB. And when you go and turn on the MCB, your system is then again attached with the your house, or your system will be again attached with your main component. So in this way, you can say that you can isolate your system, isolate your home, isolate your appliance when there is fault occur. So this isolation or this detection of the problem is known as your power system protection. Now next point will come, the problems on the power system includes, in which कौन सी प्रॉब्लम आती हैं हमारे पावर सिस्टम में. Generally, the many time in the frequent cases, we are seeing that one of the major problem that occur in the power system is short circuit. There is certain short circuit occur in the system. Next will be some abnormal conditions. Abnormal conditions means when suddenly what happen, at particular instant your voltage level will rise very high, or your voltage level will lower a very lower level. So all the equipments that we can use in our generating part, in our transmission part, and moreover in our distribution part, their working voltage is around 220 plus minus 5%. Plus minus 5% means there is an alteration. 220 voltage is the designated voltage for all the appliances to be working. But if the voltage will be 230 volt, or if the voltage will be 200 or 210, the equipment can handle it that voltage, and equipment can work accordingly. But let us suppose your equipment or your you can say that the apparatus or the appliance is designated at a working voltage of 220 volt, but suddenly the system voltage will rises to 300. So what will happen? Your equipment, your apparatus will get damaged, and vice versa. Your system, your equipment will be designated at 220 volt, but suddenly your voltage will lower, and it will get a value like a 150 or a 140 or a 130 volt. So again, there will be chances that your equipment will be damaged. So you have to work it out that whenever the voltage will rise at a particular voltage level, you have to isolate the system, and at the same hand, whenever there is a drop in the voltage at a particular level, you have to again isolate the system. And these type of conditions are basically called as your abnormal conditions. And number 3 is called as the equipment failure. So whenever you can see that equipment failure means whenever there is some fault occur in the equipment, like you all see in today's scenario, there is a peak summer or the outside, and your transformers that are installed in near particular location or in particular locality, they are frequently damaged. They are frequently damaged. The reason being why they are frequently damaged, because there is sudden rise in the temperature and moreover your load will increase. So there will be chances that your transformers winding get heated up and it will be get damaged. So whenever your windings of the transformer gets heated up and it will damage, it will affect the system. And again, you have to protect, you have to isolate your system when there is fault occur. So this is a called as an equipment failure case. Okay, so again, I am repeating that what do you mean by this system protection? This system protection is nothing, it is an art on the science of detecting the problem with the power system component and isolating these components. So again, I am repeating that there are 3 types of problems that occur in the system. One is called as the short circuit, another is called as the abnormal condition, and number 3 is called as the equipment failure. I think you can get an idea that what do you mean by this thing. Okay. Okay, your next point will be the purpose of system protection. Why you have to adopt the system protection. So what is the purpose behind the system protection? So here you can see there are total 5 purposes for which the system is to be protected. Number 1 will be protect the public. That is one of the most important as well as the main point for the, you can say that system protection. You have to protect the public. improve system stability, minimize damage to the equipment, protect against overloads, employ relay technician and engineers. So these are basically the five, you can say that the purpose of the system protection, and based upon these purposes, we have to adopt your system protection. But again, I'm repeating once again that the foremost purpose is to protect the public, protect the local people against this fault, against this system protection. But if you, for example, if you not protect the public, let us suppose if there is any fault occur in the system, and in that case you are not isolated the system with the fault, so it will damage to the person that is working on it or around it. So that is why the main important or the major purpose for the system protection is to be protect the public. Okay, so next we have what components or equipments we have to protect. Like I can explain it on the starting point of view, that there are n number of equipments that are installed in generating side, in transmission side, as well as in distribution side. So what are the various components that are used, that are installed in generating side, the transmission side, as well as on the distribution side, and accordingly the type of the components or the type of the equipment that are installed in all the three pillars of the power system, we have to adopt certain protection devices. So like we have generators, we have transformers, we have reactors, we have lines. These generators, transformers and reactors, it will be related to your generation side. We have lines, and these lines are basically called as the transmission lines. We have buses. These buses are can be used in generating part as well as the distribution part. And lastly, we have the capacitors. These capacitors are basically the capacitor banks. These are also used in generating side as well as your distribution side. So these are, you can say that, a few component where we have to apply the power system protection. Few components. In addition to that thing, I can also tell you starting that there are n number of equipment that are used in generating side, your transmission side, as well as the distribution side. But out of these n number of components, I am categorized only 4 to 5 components, and here you can see that how the fault, how the system get failure in these equipments, and how you can protect your system against these faults occur, and what are the various protection devices that you can use so that you can protect the system against faulty conditions. Okay. So this diagram I had already explained to you in my first video or a first lecture that you have discussed about the power system. So I think in this lecture it is no fun that I can again explain to you what do you mean by this in diagram. Only component that in power system there are three main pillars. Your black side will be generation part, your blue side will be the transmission part, and your again the green side will be your distribution part. And between generation part, transmission part, and the distribution part, you have to protect the system against faulty condition. And when you protect the system against this faulty condition, it is called as power system and protection. Okay. So one of the most important component that we can use in protection device is called as relay. That is one of the most important component. You can see what do you mean by this relay, and this relay we will also you can say that read it out or study in next coming lectures. But now here it is only the introduction part, and introduction part you have only discussed that what various types of equipments. So number one called as the relay. Now this, what do you mean by this relay? This relay is basically a sensing device. Relay is not a protecting device. Relay, mind it, you must be clear that what do you mean by this relay. And you also noted down one important point to be there. In power system, these relays are connected with circuit breakers. So relay are not basically called as a protection device. It is fall under the category of the protection device, but actually relay is not a protection device. It is basically a sensing device that can sense or detect a fault to be occur on the power system. And this type of relay, as I had tell you, that relay is a sensing or detecting device in power system. So when I use the word power system means all the three components: transmission, generation, and distribution. So these relays are used in transmission side, in generating side, as well as in distribution side. So relay is only a sensing device. It can sense that a system is get faulted within a time, within a nano time, within a microsecond time, within a seconds time. So it can detect before the faulty condition will occur. For example, let us suppose now the system will be healthy. At particular time, the system will be healthy. There is no fault occur in the system, but this relay can sense a few seconds before. Maybe that few seconds before is your nanosecond time, your microsecond time, or your you can say that picoseconds time. But it can sense that a system is get faulty within a time, and accordingly it will command to the circuit breaker. And when it command to the circuit breaker gets operated, and it's isolate the system. And once the system gets isolated, the fault will occur. And your fault, when fault occur on the power system, it is not affected throughout the chain of the system, because the faulty system gets isolated from the healthy system. So this is called as the relay. In addition to that thing, we are also using current transformers as well as potential transformers. So these current transformers as well as your potential transformers are also called as your protection devices. And this current transformers is basically measures the current level, and your potential transformer measures the voltage level. Because I am again tell you one thing. As you all know, we are generating the power at a particular voltage. Let us suppose that voltage will be 11 kV, that is 11,000 volt. But when we have to transmit this power, this 11,000 volt is get step up with a range of 33 kV, 66 kV, 132 kV, 220 kV, 440 kV. That depends that at what is the distance between the generating part as well as the grid part. If the distance between the generating part and the grid part is very high or extremely high, then you have to transmit the power at a high voltage level. But here the point should be noted down that let us suppose you can generate a power at a voltage level, say 11 kV, and you have to transfer the power from 11 kV to 132 kV. How you can notice down, how you can measure that at generating side you have a voltage of 132 kV? The reason being, their voltage can be measured with the help of voltmeter. And now, or you can say that in electrical there is no voltmeter. That voltmeter can measure the voltage up to 132 kV, that is 132,000 volt. There is no meter that designed at particular time that it can measure the voltage 132,000 volt. So if you have to measure the voltage, what we have to do, we are using potential transformers, and frequently it is called as PT. So what does this PT do? This PT can step down the voltage at a particular level, and at that time we can measure the voltage level at potential transformer with the help of voltmeter. And accordingly, by certain multiplication factor or by certain multiplication ratios, we can calculate that how much power will be received at grid station, as well as how much how much voltage level will be generated at generating side. And if you have to measure the same thing, if you have to measure the current, high current, so we are using the current transformers. So here you must note it down one point, that these current transformers as well as this potential transformer, that is CT and PT, these are come under the category of the protection device. But these CTs and PTs are basically the measuring equipment, where this CT measures the current level and this PT measures the voltage level. And in every you can say that step up transformer that are used in generating side, or step down transformer that are used in grid side, or the step down transformer which are used in your locality, there are always connected CTs and PTs in order to measure the voltage, in order to measure the current. And once, let us suppose, in a system, in a transformer, there is high current occur due to some fault. So what will happen? Your main transformer, it is not get affected. Yeah, your CT can damage it. So here your CT is acting as a protecting device, at the same end, if there is a certain high voltage occur on the transformer side, if all the you can say that protecting devices like isolator, your fuses get not working, your PT will damage. So here you can say that your PT will act as a protecting device. So now you can must be clear that what do you mean by this CT and what do you mean by this PT. So now up till stage you are discussed the three main components that were used in power system protection is called as a relay. This relay is basically a sensing device. It can sense before the fault occur in the system and command to the circuit breaker to operate it, so that when the fault occur, the faulty system get isolated from the healthy system. And you have CT as well as PT, and these CT and PTs are basically the measuring devices. Okay, so this is all about for today's lecture. In the coming lecture we will discuss more and more components. Okay, so now if you have any doubt related to that, you can ask me.
सर ये जो रिले होती है
हाँ जी
सर, इनमें कोई सर रिले में कोई रेंज होती है जिनमें सेंस कर पाए कि मतलब कितनी रेंज में इसकी रेंज होगी ना कोई?
relay, you can say that there is not a particular one type of relay we can use. There are n number of relays we can use for particular appliance. There are particular relay. For example, we have electromechanical relay, we have differential relay, we have Buckles relay. So depending upon the type of application, which equipment you have to be protect, accordingly we can use the relay. Okay, so in coming lectures we will discuss that what are the various types of relay, how these relays can be operated. We have discussed.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you told the term reactor. What do you mean by reactor, sir?
Yeah, we will also explain you on later on stage.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah.
Like in the at the homes, at the residential places, we have MCBs and all that. MCB is actually a circuit breaker, and is a relay also in that, or inside the MCB, or it is?
No, in
Not
our home appliances we can never use a relay. MCBs are basically just the MCB that we can use in our home appliances are basically on overload. You can say that working on the principle of the overload. So whenever there is a high voltage or there is a high current or there is a high overload will occur, automatically it gets shifted out. But relay you can use in our transformers. You can use relays like in particular you can say that season you all are using your air conditioners. So when you use air conditioners, in that air conditioners you are using transformers to be there. So the transformer which are connected with your air conditioners, that transformers are basically called as the auto transformers, where you cannot step down the voltage, you cannot step up the voltage. So whenever there is a high voltage occur outside, so transformer get voltage about 220, so there is some relay which get activated. और आपने सुना होगा कि एक कड़कड़ की आवाज आती है, कड़ 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 कड़, तो व्हाट इज दिस, वो रिले एक्टिवेट होती है और अकॉर्डिंगली जो ट्रांसफार्मर्स के टैप्स होते हैं उनको वो चेंज कर लेती है. So that type of relay we can use in our like you can say that in transformers. So जिनके घरों में भी ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स लगे हुए हैं और ऑटोमेटिकली ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स है, नॉट अ मैनुअल ट्रांसफॉर्मर, जिनके घरों में ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स लगे और ऑटोमेटिकली ट्रांसफॉर्मर्स होंगे, तो उनमें हम लोग अपनी रिलेज को यूज करते हैं.
सर उसमें क्या काम होता है रिलेज का?
रिलेज का काम ये होता है लाइक अगर आपका एयर कंडीशनर है तो एयर कंडीशनर में सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट जो होता है दैट इज बेसिकली कंप्रेसर. तो कंप्रेसर को एक डेजिग्नेटेड वोल्टेज देनी है. अगर कंप्रेसर की वोल्टेज मान लीजिए उसको डेजिग्नेटेड वोल्टेज 220 या 230 देनी है और लेट इट बी अगर उसकी वोल्टेज ड्रॉप करके 90 चली जाती है या 120 चली जाती है तो आपका एयर कंडीशनर ऑन नहीं होगा और आपका कंप्रेसर जो है डैमेज हो जाएगा. एंड सिमिलरली सडनली अगर आपकी वोल्टेज बढ़ जाती है लाइक आपको 220 230 चाहिए और अगर आपकी वोल्टेज 300 चली जाती है तो अगेन आपका कंप्रेसर जो है वो डैमेज हो जाएगा. सो आपको एक ऐसा ट्रांसफार्मर एयर कंडीशनर के साथ लगाना है कि चाहे आपकी इनकमिंग वोल्टेज कम हो जाए या आपकी इनकमिंग वोल्टेज ज्यादा हो जाए, बट आपकी आउटपुट वोल्टेज फिक्स्ड रहनी चाहिए लाइक 220 या 230. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर यूजिंग ऑटो ट्रांसफार्मर. सो इन ऑटो ट्रांसफार्मर्स यू ऑल नो कि ट्रांसफार्मर की वोल्टेज अप या ट्रांसफार्मर की वोल्टेज डाउन कैसे होती है. इट्स डिपेंड्स अपॉन द नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपके सेकेंडरी साइड के टर्न्स आउटपुट के टर्न्स ज्यादा हैं तो आउटपुट भी आपकी ज्यादा आएगी और अगर आपके आउटपुट के टर्न्स कम हैं तो आपकी आउटपुट भी कम आएगी. अब मान लीजिए आपके पास इनकमिंग वोल्टेज आ रही है इनकमिंग वोल्टेज आपकी है लेट अस सपोज 190, आप चाहते हो कि आउटपुट पे आपको 220 वोल्टेज मिले, सो आपकी सेकेंडरी के टर्न्स बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे। तो वो सेकेंडरी के टर्न जो बढ़ेंगे, जो टैप चेंज होगा वो कौन करवाएगा? वो रिले करवाएगा। सो रिले क्या करेगी? सेंस करेगी कि इनकमिंग वोल्टेज क्या है और डेजिग्नेटेड आउटपुट वोल्टेज क्या है, अकॉर्डिंगली रिले एक्टिवेट होगी। एंड सिमिलरली मान लीजिए आपकी इनपुट वोल्टेज बढ़ गई 240 या 250 वोल्ट हो गई, तो आपको तो आउटपुट पे 230 वोल्ट चाहिए, तो इन दैट केस रिले अगेन एक्टिवेट करेगी और अपने टर्न्स को कम करेगी। सो एक अकॉर्डिंगली यू कैन से दैट कि नंबर्स को अप, टर्न्स को अप करना या टर्न्स को डाउन करना, सो दैट कि आपके आउटपुट पे वोल्टेज बराबर मिले, जितनी आपने सेट करी है उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपका रिले जो है वो एक्टिवेट करती है। क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, and what is that type of relay called?
That is called as electromechanical relay.
Yes, sir.
जो ट्रांसफॉर्मर में हम यूज करते हैं इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल रिले, बट अगेन इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द रेटिंग ऑफ द ट्रांसफॉर्मर ना। For example, if you use a transformer in you can say that air conditioner, that means its rating is about 5 kVA. So depending upon the rating of the transformer, we are using the rating of the relay. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
सर
Yes.
सर आपने बोला ना CTPT को कुछ मतलब सर रेशियो होता है जो मल्टीप्लिकेशन में होता है सर, वो क्या है?
That I will also explain. मैंने तभी बोला, अभी मैं जितने भी आपको इक्विपमेंट्स बता रहा हूँ ना, ये सिर्फ बता रहा हूँ कि कौन कौन से हमारे प्रोटेक्शन डिवाइसेस होते हैं। उसके बाद आपने सारे इक्विपमेंट्स पढ़ने हैं कि सीटी में क्या होता है, पीटी में क्या होता है, ये बनता कैसे, सब कुछ हम डिटेल में डिस्कस करेंगे आपके साथ।
ओके सर।
ओके जी, सो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट फॉर टुडेज लेक्चर। वी विल मेट ऑन नेक्स्ट लेक्चर एट पर अवर शेड्यूल टाइम टेबल। सो नाउ आई एम जस्ट अ मिनट, आई एम सेंडिंग द chat your Google form link for attendance. So all the students are requested to please mark the attendance on the Google form that will be provided on the chat box. Okay. So thank you so much for today's lecture.